Now, folks, if you'll just gather around a little closer now. Come right in a little closer. That's it. That's fine, folks.
How much did Eddie offer Tank? Is he saying Eddie offered him 25 mil? I like watching Tank fight, but Tank is not worth 25 mil. Not in the UK. Eddie didn't offer him 25 million, because if he did offer him 25 million in writing, Tank would have exposed it. Of course he would have leaked it. No, I don't believe Tank. Don't believe that. Conor Ben, he said clearly Jafar Palumpa, which is his nickname for Tank, doesn't know what upside means, and put a smiley emoji. Stick to fighting women. Javante replied, "You will beat the dog shit out of you." I'm assuming he meant I will beat the dog shit out of you. We all know this. I was trying to be good for the sport and beat your ass in your hometown, but the spoon-fed white boy keep trying to cheat me out of my fucking money, bitch. You see, either Javante is confused or he's telling a few porkies. Perhaps the upside from the 10 million guarantee could have been anything between 15, 20, 25 mil, depending on if the fight went to a stadium and they sell a bucket load of tickets and how much pay-per-view buys it did. Now, it was a good deal. It was a good deal, but he wasn't able to take it because he's not in control of his career in terms of taking fights outside the guidance of Al Heyman.
They got me trapped.
Why did he say white boy? Well, some are going to say, well, he's racist. Looked like a bit of a deflection tactic. You know, throw the ad hominem in there. You know, Leonard said that Eddie was racist because he said that Tank weren't a deep thinker, but I guess Tank's not racist for saying spoon-fed white boy. Yeah, throw the ad hominem in there. Look, the white devil's cheating me out of my money. Either people are stupid enough to take it seriously or find it funny, when the real issue is how do you turn a purse down like that? Because let's say DAZN, we're going to put that fight in a stadium with a 10 mil guarantee and upside on the pay-per-view. Must be comparable or perhaps even more than what he earned with Ryan. It's a huge purse. What does he make when he fights with Martin? And that fight does less than 300,000 pay-per-view buys, which is what I'm guessing most people are going to estimate. Who the fuck knows Frank Martin?
So I want you, Keyshawn Davis, to actually confirm whether you want me to make you an offer or not. Because you asked me to make an offer, but then you deleted the tweet.
Andy Cruz got Keyshawn Davis moving like Javante Davis. Don't you know deleting is cheating? So yeah, Andy beat Keyshawn 4 times in the amateurs. 4 times. And Keyshawn got a little in his feelings, obviously, and said, make sure you make the offer to Eddie Hearn. And then either Top Rank got hold of the tweet or someone in Keyshawn's circle, or maybe Keyshawn himself, saw what was going on. The tweet was deleted. It was deleted because you would imagine it's not a fight Top Rank would be in a hurry to make unless there's belts and big money on the line. Now, in saying that, amateurs is not pros. Henry Tillman beat Mike Tyson twice in the Olympic trials. And then as a pro, Tyson starched him in 1 round. And Tillman's amateur success never transferred into the pros. Evander Holyfield, he won a bronze in that same Olympics that Tillman struck gold. But in the pros, Holyfield knocked him out in a cruiserweight defense. But 4 defeats, and with Keyshawn just building his resume right now, you would imagine, at least at this moment, they don't want no parts of it. You know. But this is a different era. Dodging and ducking fights is no longer a dishonorable trait for a fighter. It's no longer. And it's not just in America. You can see how Adam Azim is moving with the Dalton Smith fight. And I guess social media is just bringing more attention to it than in previous years, because people have been ducking fights for as long as boxing has existed. But now, you know, social media, there's a lot of receipts out there, and people like Keyshawn can't help themselves and end up snitching on themselves. Andy won his 10-rounder against Brian Rodriguez, 14-2-0, a durable Mexican. I can't give you a breakdown of the fight because, you know, I was snoozing and waking up and catching bits of it. Andy was dominant, technically on point, and did his thing. But he didn't get the knockout. Maybe that will give Keyshawn some confidence on taking the fight, I don't know. In the main event, we had Mccrory taking on Edgar Berlanga. Both men listed as 6'1", but Poddick clearly taller. First round was quiet. Mccrory opened up more with a jab and long rights. Edgar was looking to counter-punch. In the second, he caught Mccrory with a couple of shots, and, Mccrory had to acknowledge the power, and we saw how strong Edgar was briefly in the clinch. Edgar was very controlled, and a little dirty. He pulled his elbow back into Mccrory's face. Mccrory didn't like that. And Mccrory looked uncomfortable with Edgar's physical presence. Edgar was reading the fight very well. His body attack was very effective, even though some of the blows strayed low intentionally. And Mccrory looked very uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable in there. Edgar feinted well from the fourth, and the jab was working well. And he hurt Mccrory badly with a left hook in the fourth. And it was all downhill from there. Mccrory complained to the referee a little too much for my liking, although on the action replays, Edgar was blatantly and intentionally hitting him low. Edgar was cut over his right eye in the fifth. I don't know if that was from a clash or from a punch, but that thumping jab and that body attack worked very well for him, and Mccrory was not feeling sorry for himself, but he was out of his depth in a fight that a lot of people thought would have been more competitive. Edgar, coming out of that crouch, landed a big right hand, and it visibly hurt Mccrory badly. And then Mccrory instinctively tried to throw a right uppercut, but he was beaten to the punch by a right hook that deposited him to the canvas, and his team threw the towel in. The referee was on the verge of stopping it, and he would have got counted out in the act of rising anyway. And yeah, Edgar looked good. He looked pretty good. First stoppage in a minute. He looked composed in there. He looked focused. There was a brief mention of him taking on Canelo, but that's not going to happen, Like, the Diego Pacheco fight is a more realistic fight. Mccrory, unbeaten going into the fight, wasn't at the races, wasn't really competitive. I have a feeling DAZN, Golden Boy and Matchroom are waiting to see what Canelo does before they decide Jaime's next move. But I would like to see Jaime versus Edgar. It's a very good fight. Incredible promotional run, it has to be said. The first press conference in Edinburgh was off the chain, then followed up in Manchester the next day. A face-off has been filmed that will be aired on Matchroom and DAZN. They went toe-to-toe on TalkSport, and Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor, with no world titles on the line, have sold out the First Direct Arena in Leeds to the tune of nearly 14,000. It's a 13,780 capacity arena. And it's sold out first day. No complimentaries or nothing. No cheap tickets to try and fill out the venue. No. First day sellout. Sam Jones, has to be said, went in all guns blazing on the Josh Taylor fan base, and there's genuine bitterness between the two rivals. Definitely so, due to the contentious scorecards of the first fight in 2022. There was me saying, why is Jack Catterall just pushing this fight continuously and Eddie just keeps chasing Josh Taylor? But, like I said on the Hangout, Matchroom know what they're doing. DAZN know what they're doing. Yeah, they know what they're doing. It was on DAZN, so I took a peek. The weight limit for the fight was 165. Claressa Shields took on Kelsey DeSantis in an MMA fight. Now, Claressa won a split decision. She landed the cleaner hand strikes, the punches, all the way through. Kelsey dominated on the ground and nearly broke Claressa's arm. Is it an arm bar? No, I don't know no MMA vernacular like that. But Claressa was dominated on the ground and pound thing. Kelsey won that. Claressa tried her hardest. Like, she threw punches that in a boxing ring would have got counted. Yeah? She was throwing overhand rights from her waist, literally. And Kelsey took them. And it makes you wonder why she thinks she can beat Keith Thurman and dudes in the ring. Like, she's not a banger. She's not a banger. Did she deserve the decision? I don't know. I don't know what the criteria are for scoring. Do they give more credence to punches than ground and pound? I don't know. Apart from that, Clarissa's ass looked kind of tasty in the M&M shorts. I mean, nice and big, but yeah. Ryan is another deluded boxer, believing that he has the power to change the location of the fight. They're not going to allow him to do that because Golden Boy and DAZN have to put their foot down. You know, if they let children like Ryan run the asylum, well, what's going to happen to their product? So, Haney versus Garcia was originally planned to be in Vegas. Now, it's headed for NY, the Barclays Center. Ryan says he's doing everything he can to get the fight back in Vegas. This isn't about New York. It's about business and what he believes is the best decision for his career. The best decision for his career is to get the fuck out of social media talking this nonsense and work on his game. But he doesn't know that. He believes this is more important. When Devin replied that he's trying to escape from the fight, Ryan replies, why would you say that to somebody who's making you more money than you've ever earned in your career? Ryan prioritizes the wrong things as a boxer. His thought process as a pugilist is out of whack. I don't think Derek James can tell him anything. Canelo couldn't tell him anything, and neither could Eddie Reynoso. Neither could Joe Goosen. Goosen gave me the impression that he wasn't that interested in the gig. Just make sure his check is in the bank on time and it's all good. Devin replied that the fight's been moved to New York because they don't want to interfere with Canelo's gate receipts, which, you know, I can see the logic, but it's more the other way around, isn't it? I think it's more a case that Golden Boy DAZN are going to move off the May date, move off the Vegas location, go to New York to accommodate Canelo because Munguia might be shortlisted to face Canelo. It might be a long shot, but it could happen. And then, just like Tank versus Ryan, they could end up sharing the pay-per-view with the PBC. Or perhaps Canelo doesn't even take the next fight on the PBC if there's any issues with the guarantee. And he could end up back on DAZN. It's all speculation, but, you know, I think they've got that in mind, that Munguia could be facing Canelo next, if Canelo ever announces an opponent. It just doesn't instill optimism. If you're a Ryan Garcia fan or neutral, that his head is in the right place to win a fight of this caliber. The fight's going to New York. If Ryan wants to pull out, he can pull out. It's going to New York. And what is this business decision that will benefit him? Exactly, what's he talking about? How comes business is always more important? Business and who can sell more and who's got more social media followers is always a priority over everything. Over him really buckling down and doing the hard work. I'm sure he's going to work hard, but here's the thing. This shouldn't even be coming out of your mouth. With the fight, what, less than 2 months away? It's either one or two things, or maybe a combination of both. It seems like he gets too excited when he's prepping to go on the big stage. Or it's nerves. And sometimes nerves can make individuals just babble on about stuff that is totally relevant to what's really important. I don't think Ryan can beat Devin, but I believe like Derek James's bigger job, rather than training Ryan physically and talking about tactics, is to make sure he's mentally where he needs to be. Like, Oscar must be tearing out his hair follicles, man. Like, what is the matter with this kid? Yeah, I believe he wants to pull out, but he could be a little cornered. Let's face it, he was trying to run away from the fight from early 2021 when he won the Eliminator against Luke Campbell. And recently, just a few weeks back actually, they were lining up this fight. And then he ran into the arms of Floyd. That was just weird as well, really weird. Next thing, he's going to fight Rolly, only for Rolly and TMT to announce they're going to fight Pitbull Cruz. And he was left out in the cold.
What all that big Willie talk hot, you're playing yourself.
Now he's trying to convince himself that Devin needs him for the payday. Well, perhaps that's true. But where's there to go for Ryan if he doesn't take this fight? I wouldn't dare suggest Ryan is a coward. No, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, he tried to run into the arms of Floyd because he saw how Floyd was looking out for Gervonta. They weren't going to take that fight unless Ryan took the rehydration clause. They had to get a concession. They had to get one over. You know, the Tank Davis fans don't want to hear this, but yeah, he's been very protected. And they've done an excellent job in protecting him. So yeah, you know, he probably thinks Oscar and Bernard ain't really looking out for him. He wants all the perks that he sees the likes of Tank getting. So yeah, going over to TMT and fighting Rolly for that 140-pound belt on some PBC card, that appealed to him. That really appealed to him. Maybe he could make the first defense against Old Face Killer. But this is real boxing. And Golden Boy have developed Ryan the best way they know. This is sink or swim. Ryan probably thinks he should have concessions on Devin, like a rehydration clause. That he can pick the location, the referee, the judges, the ring size, the gloves. Unfortunately, he's still contracted to Golden Boy. And he's not the champ. Devin is. He better get over to Texas and get that butt to work, because Devin will be looking to make another statement to list on his already burgeoning resume.